friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 62 of Bookish Bliss. We have a lot to discuss today.
This week we are discussing our final thoughts of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So you do have to read the whole book to listen because we will be discussing our final thoughts this evening.
Yes.
So if you haven't listened to the rest of our episodes covering chapters 1 through 55, then watch the last couple of videos.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a prickly pear high noon to kick off our first book of the series. Gotta have a little bit of alcohol.
Perfect. I like it.
Yes, it's tequila. So you know it's gonna be fun.
I wish I could do that.
What are you drinking, darling?
I'm drinking my favorite bubbly blackberry seltzer. So
Indeed.
Really excited about that, of course.
Of course. I love it.
All right, so we're going to crack this open. Cheers to episode 62 of Bookish Bliss and our final thoughts episode of Throne of Glass. Cheers!
Cheers!
So we do have one shout out this week. Abby has joined our Discord.
Yay, Abby!
So exciting. So exciting. If you're listening to our podcast, we would love for you to join our Bookish Bliss Discord. There is a link to our Discord in our TikTok and Instagram profiles.
Yes.
And we will give you a shout out during our episodes if you join during the week.
Woohoo! Come join us. The book's really good.
We are reading Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven for our Discord book club. And we are going to be meeting on May 4th to be discussing the book and our thoughts live on our Discord. We do have a time change. Originally, I had stated 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we are going to be going live around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just so it makes it a little bit easier for our West Coast folks.
Indeed, there are a few of you in there. We would like to be accommodating to all.
Yes. Super excited that Bloomsbury Publishing has been posting an ACOTAR kind of this or that, what's your favorite moment? So that bracket is going on. It's almost the 10th anniversary of ACOTAR. So I'm hoping that means that we're going to be having an announcement soon.
I hope so.
About the next ACOTAR book.
Yes, we better. I won't take anything less.
I know. I'm so ready.
I'm so ready.
Yes. But that is all the bookish news I have. Do you have anything to add?
I do not, darling. You are the bookish pop culture girl.
Yes. Thank you, darling.
Thank you for keeping us informed. All right, darling. Let's get started with Throne of Glass, Part 5, discussing our final thoughts. How about you tell us, Megan, what you rated this book? And why?
As you know, I've read this book previously to us covering it on the podcast. And so I always just go back to see what I rated it the first time, and I never change my ratings. Unless that something drastically has changed. But I feel like my true rating is what I rated it the first time. So it was 5 stars for me. I honestly kind of forgot everything that we do learn in this first book that really comes into play in the rest of the series.
Yeah, after 8 fucking books, I can imagine you remember the first book.
And I read this series back in 2022. So it has been
hundreds of books ago.
quite some time.
That's crazy.
Amanda, what did you rate Throne of Glass?
I have the same rating, 5 stars. I was just so amped reading this book for the first time. I was just like so intrigued. I read it so fast. Me and Megan were going to do a mini podcast series starting with Throne of Glass, and I was so excited about it. I did notes for the entire book.
Yes.
I was just so obsessed, and I think it's just a great way to start the series. And I know it's going to go in this crazy direction that we are unaware of yet, but I'm so excited for it. So
yes, R.I.P. the miniseries.
R.I.P. the miniseries.
Summer was just too crazy, and we were starting the Empyrean series, and it was
It was
just too
just
much at
too
once,
much.
especially with Throne of Glass. I feel like it really deserves a full
Full
episode.
episode, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we'd have to do,
Well,
like,
it got
short,
it.
like, maybe not a series if we ever
Yeah,
brought
maybe,
the
like,
miniseries
romance
back.
or thriller, something small.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
not dead forever.
Yes, we'll see.
We might resurrect one day.
Yes.
2 5 stars, though. Love it.
Mhm.
Can only get better from here, too.
No, literally, this series just continues to get better and better, so I'm really excited
Hell yeah.
to keep going.
Me too. I'm so excited. So, Megan, tell us who your favorite character was.
For the first book in the series, like, I'm gonna have to give it to Selena Sardothian, our favorite assassin.
Mhm.
She has just overcome so much. Just getting out of Endovier, coming into Adarlan, and trying to become the king's champion, and just dealing with so much adversity,
Yeah.
and just literally kicking butt
And
and taking
supernatural
names. Yeah.
freaking activities.
Yes, dealing with Cain, is
Literally.
just awful in itself, so I had to give it to Selena
Oh,
as
yeah.
my favorite character, and really, I wanted to give it up to Philippa too.
Woo, Philippa!
She just reminds me so much of Alice from A Court of
Yeah,
Thorns and Roses that
yeah.
I just loved her so much. I was like, "Oh, this is giving me Alice vibes," and I'm obsessed.
I know, it really does give us Alice vibes for sure. But the best part about Selena for me is that she's a young woman, and
Mhm.
nobody expected her to be as badass as she is.
Yeah.
Still don't, most people, because even in the castle, they think she's someone else, so literally they still don't even know. Only a
Yeah,
handful of people.
exactly. Who was your favorite character in Throne of Glass?
I've heard from you that this is an unpopular opinion. I don't know why yet, but I'm sure I'll find out soon. But honestly, Kale, I
Mm,
literally loved him in this book. I think just from him starting off as this big bad captain of the guard and then kind of giving her a little bit of friendship here and a little bit of chatter there. And then he kind of falls for her without falling for her.
yeah.
And then that final scene where he's in the final do with her, telling her to get up, just solidified it for me. I'm like, oh, I love Kale.
Yes.
And I hope that doesn't change, but that's my answer for now, Kale.
Well, I think it's perfectly acceptable for the first
Yeah.
book.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Yeah.
Nobody hate me.
Nobody hate Amanda for her pick.
I have no idea what happens, but I hear the fans are torn.
I don't know if they're necessarily torn. Well, I guess torn because I don't have a problem with him, but I
Yeah,
know some people do.
indeed. I guess we'll have to keep reading to find out.
Exactly.
Tell us, Megan, what your favorite part was of this book, or parts. Could be parts.
You go first.
Okay. My favorite part was one I just said about Kale telling Selena to get up, but also once Selena stops being in the middle of the pack and she starts taking people out of these
Mm,
competitions and just being such a badass and all like the slick talk she gives Kane, just when she really comes out of her shell and kind of remembers who the fuck she is.
yeah.
I get chills about those parts. I'm like, yes, girl, get him.
I know. Was it Vern that she throws out of the ring
Yeah.
during that fight? And she's like, "Next time, give me a real
A
man to
real man.
fight."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah. I just love those little remarks from her.
Mhm.
And how sassy she is to Dorian and Kale and literally everybody. So it's
Yeah.
just
Just
loved it.
giving everyone sass.
Exactly. But the favorite of all time was the Kale in her moment at the end.
Yeah,
But
that was a cute moment. Even before she stepped into the ring and he was playing
I
with the ring that
know.
he gave her.
Yes.
I
He's just
know.
so subtly sweet. That's what I think
Yes.
it is. It's like subtle.
He's very subtle.
Yeah, almost like he knows Dorian is, like, crushing hard, and he's the captain of the guard, his best friend. He can't say anything, but he feels the same way. I just love it.
Yes. It was great just
Yeah.
to see those tiny moments that are just, like, not in your face, and it
Yeah.
just makes it more sweet, I think.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. And, keep them both.
Oh, I can't.
All right, Megan, tell us your favorite parts.
My favorite part is when Selena discovers that Kane is the one doing the word marks, and us as readers are literally shouting at her, like, literally, we
Literally.
knew this the whole time. How did you not know this? And she's like, oh my God,
It's
it's
Kane.
Kane. But what I really liked about that moment is that when she gets stuck in the room with the Ritterak, and then she immediately thinks on her feet and she's like, the tomb. I need to go to the right. Like that's what
Yeah.
Elena meant. And she's able to trick the Ritterak into breaking down the door and rushing to go get the sword.
Yeah.
Damaris to defeat the Ritterak. I just thought that part was so cool. Maybe because it
Yeah,
was
for sure.
one of the more high intensity moments.
Yeah, and kind of like a turning point for the story too. Like
Yeah.
we now know who the fuck is doing all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the romance just like really wasn't there for me in this book
Yeah.
with Dorian or Kale. And I don't know if that's because like I know how the series ends, that it's just
True.
not. I mean,
Too subtle for you.
I think, yeah, I think it was too subtle for me. And I think there are other moments in other books that are just better.
Yeah.
So
Can't wait to read them
So
though.
I think it's really interesting that one of my favorite moments is kind of like an action scene because it's usually not.
Yeah, that's true. Are you Amanda? And I'm over here like, he's so sweet. Like Megan.
I think we switched places.
Oh my God. Freaky Friday or something?
I know. Who are we?
That's so funny. I also did like how the magic was like secretly introduced into the story too.
Mhm.
It's like a cool concept that this first queen of a darling is needing to aid Selena. We know she has some kind of magic in her bloodline from literally like chapter fucking 5 or something. She
Yeah.
tells us this.
Yeah.
So, of course, I had to go and mention all of the magic
I know.
that has gone on.
I was going to say that there are some moments I really liked, but they were a little magical. And I know that you put together a beautiful magical
Yes.
section, I should say, for our listeners that I've been missing this section
Oh
for
my God, I've been missing it
months.
too. Literally months, like half a year. But we are bringing it back to life tonight. Resurrection.
Fast magic is back.
Hell yeah, baby. Fast magic. Ooh, 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 ooh. Fast magic. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gotta do like a dance move.
I know. We need choreography now. I literally crack up every time we do fast magic. Like, I just can't take it seriously.
It's not supposed to be serious.
No, I know
It's
it's
supposed to be
not
fun.
serious, but
Yeah, I know it's literally hilarious. But I also thought because it's final thoughts and there's not that much magic, I kind of like grouped together some pieces of it that we can just chat a little bit about everything too. Like we don't have to just like fast magic it out and then forget it, you know?
not tonight.
So it's a little fast magic, but a little slow magic too.
She just really wanted to sing to you tonight.
Yeah, I just really wanted to do the jingle. But also, I'm sure there will be so much magic in the upcoming books that fast magic will make its return at the end of our episodes.
Yes. Take it away, Amanda.
Here we go, my time to shine. Very early on in the book, we find out Selena knows that she has magic in her blood.
Yes.
Literally on page 31, it says, it had been a while since she contemplated the gift she'd lost, though the memory of her abilities haunted her dreams. Despite the carnage, perhaps it was good that magic had vanished. 'Tis not vanished.
I literally, my jaw hit the ground when we read this part because I forgot that this was mentioned early on in the books. And when we posted a clip of this episode, of that part, someone was like,
Mhm.
what part was this in Throne of Glass? I was like, it's literally like chapter 5. And they were
Yeah.
like, no way. Does it
Isn't
get
that
talked about
crazy?
that early? But it is. Magic is mentioned so early on. And that she
Yeah.
has magic. I was like, I totally missed that the first time around reading this book.
I know. It's like subtly in there, but also now that you're making such a big deal out of this line, I just want to pull it apart and try and figure out what the fuck's going to happen.
I know.
But I won't for now. We'll leave it here. Great start to our magic, though. chapter 5 with
Yeah,
Selena.
very early on. You were saying, well, we're going to have to bring back fast magic because of that
Literally,
line.
yeah. I read it too already, Throne of Glass, and I didn't even realize. I knew there was like 1 or 2 parts that were like significant, but
Mhm.
early on, I was just shocked too. Must hit different after you read the whole series, though.
Very different.
Next, we have Brandon. Before Adarlan began its conquest, which was a forest that was cloaked in magic, once filled with gnomes, sprites, nymphs, goblins, and more. It
More.
was all ruled by their human-like cousins, the immortal Fae, who are the original inhabitants of Aurelia, which is really the only time we talk about Fae in this book, I feel, unless I'm missing something else, but I feel like this is the only time that they're really mentioned.
Yeah, no, I think this is the only time that they're mentioned in this book, and that's probably why I just forgot that it was mentioned so early
So
on
early,
because it's
yeah.
not mentioned again.
Yeah, so huge foreshadowing.
Mhm.
Brandon's Forest, something's up there.
Well, I think it is slightly mentioned when we're talking about Elena because I think they say she was, like, half Fae,
Oh, yeah, true.
but
Yeah, you're
really
right.
just, like, so subtle in this book.
Yeah. So subtle. Yeah, you're right. She finds this out because she goes in the tomb and sees the sarcophagi
Yes.
and notices her ears, right?
Yes.
Pointy ears, yeah. Definitely foreshadowing for what's to come, though, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure.
So, on Selena's trip to the castle, they spent the night near Brandon's forest, and when she awoke, she saw small white flowers laid at her cot and tiny footprints in and out of the tent. But she stomps out the tracks and hid the flowers before anyone else could see. She definitely kept one eye open, though, passing the woods that day.
So magic is not fully gone.
No, absolutely not. And I think she also mentions that the king is the one that is perceived to be of banning
Mhm.
magic, but really she says magic kind of disappeared on its own
Right.
accord. And she says a lot of the prisoners in Endovia are actually magic users, which
Yeah.
I thought was interesting.
Yeah, you can't tell magic what to do. Magic tells you
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah. Get it straight. But I thought that was a little like she's telling us that for some reason too. Like
Oh,
there's some
for
magical
sure.
people in the Endovia for sure.
It's really just giving us, like, the entire base for what this series is going to become.
Yeah, and I know if I know Sarah J. Maas, I know there's some hidden verbiage in between the lines that all of you who have read it know. And I'm just
Yes.
foaming at the mouth, ready to find out.
Yeah, she's ready.
I'm ready. So, of course, we have these mysterious deaths that are happening, the unnatural and unexplained deaths of some of the competing champions, which suggest a force beyond normal means, hinting at a possible magical or supernatural influence at play within the castle, aka Kane and Parrington and the king and their black rings and something fucking fishy with them three going on.
There's definitely something fishy and why they're so attached to these onyx rings that are on their fingers.
Indeed. Although Kane is no longer with us, I'm still fearful of Parrington and the king when it comes to those rings.
Yes, especially since we know at the end of the book that they're using these rings to control, at least we know Kane and Caltane were being controlled.
Yeah, for sure. Caltine had those headaches.
Mhm.
And they kind of said, too, in the POV, right, that they were controlling her?
Yes, they did, and they said Parrington says that he took the advice of the king and started easing back on his control of her because
Yeah.
she was starting to look a little worse for the wear and because she was complaining of the headaches.
Yeah. This whole thing with the king and the rings, too, is just making me feel like he's banning magic for some reason that maybe it's like threatening to him and he's the only one that wants access to it.
Hmm.
Or maybe his kingdom, or I don't know. I feel like in order to be the ruler or the king, he has to ban magic. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe someone with magic would rule, or someone would try and take it from him that was stronger than him with I don't know. I feel like he's scared of it for some reason, which is why he's banning it.
Yeah, maybe you should continue to develop that theory as we
Oh,
continue to read on.
okay. We'll leave it at that for now then. You can count that as my prediction for tonight.
Beautiful.
Then we have the amulet. that was given to Selena by Queen Elena, described as an heirloom, which carries a sense of significance beyond its monetary value, obviously. Its
Obviously.
later revealed connection to magic and protection suggests it holds power even in a land where magic is suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it even appears from midair while she's sleeping.
Yeah, it's just clutched in her hand when she wakes
Literally.
up.
Yeah.
And we know that it worked because it warmed when she sees Kane and the Ritterak. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like telling her basically, you need to run, you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then it works again, or we know it was working because when Kane rips it off of her during the final duel, we can see the entire army of the dead.
Yeah.
So
So it
it's
was like
definitely
shielding
protecting
her.
her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of validates the whole amulet too when Dorian notices it and says that he studied it and knows what it is, the Eye of Elena. So
Yes.
solidifies it right there before we even see it work that it's real.
Yeah, and Elena does say that it is real, but she wasn't just this like helpless queen in a tower waiting for Gavin to save her.
Yeah.
Yes, she wore the amulet, but she was still a warrior fighting by his side.
I know. I love that too.
Yeah.
You go, Queen Elena. We have the word marks, which the discovery of the word marks and Selena and Nehemia's recognition of them as something ancient and powerful signifies the lingering presence of magic and its potential danger. Their connection to summoning creatures and opening word gates to other worlds further emphasizes the forbidden nature and destructive potential of magic in this world. I think Selena, too, in chapter 5, back when she mentions magic being a part of her or something, she says, too, like, if she had access to the magic, it probably would have ruined her or something by then, too, right?
Mhm.
She says something like that. Like, it could have been really destructive to her, too. I
I
don't know.
think she
Like,
would like actually be not alive right now if she still
okay.
had access to it because I don't think she would have been able to hide that from the king and others that are watching out for other magic users.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what she means by it. Because I was thinking, like, did she mean it was like consuming her and it was like dangerous? I don't know.
Well, I think the magic is dangerous when you don't know how to control it. So, yeah,
True.
it probably would have consumed her if it was still around and she didn't have anyone to really show her how to use it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just some more foreshadowing that we're going to see some crazy fucking magic coming up.
Yes.
Towards the end of the book, we actually get some instances of some magic. So I'm just going to list them out here for us. Selena is waking up, magically healed with a stylish half-moon scar after her night with the Ritterak biting her hand and Nehemia healing her.
Mhm.
We get the shadows around Kane that were noticed twice, I think. Once by Kaltane and then once by Selena in the final duel.
Yep.
At the final duel, Nehemia said something in Eelway and walked to the edge of the ring where Dorian notices she's hiding her rapidly moving fingers in her cloak, tracing the symbols in the air where she was opening or at least making appear a bunch of these doors of wood, iron, air, magic, and they all burst open when Queen Elena comes to suck the poison out of Selena at the final duel. So
Mhm.
definitely some magic there.
That seems like such a cool scene just to
I
see
know.
all these doors just appear and, like, burst open, and
Literally.
just Queen Elena walking in and taking care of, like, the army of the dead and Kane, she's, like, so badass.
Yeah, she's just like, gush of wind, push you back, lock you away,
Yes.
suck the poison out of you. Now get that motherfucker, is how I picture her singing. And she does.
Literally.
And then, of course, at the end, when Nehemia reveals she saves Selena during the duel with her unique sight, enabling her to witness the hallucinations caused by the bloodbane in the wine, which
Mhm.
she says is a reaction of magic calling to magic. Just a
Like
last little reminder.
yes, that like always calls to like.
Yes, where do we know that saying from?
Hmm.
So that was fun, and I'm so looking forward to more magic. and this growing and brewing into something crazy.
Yeah, I know you'll be very happy when you get to
Yay.
sing Fast Magic during every episode.
Yes. Wait, I have a question actually. If you could ask Sarah J. Maas one question about Throne of Glass, what would it be?
Nothing to do with this book. So,
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was a good question.
it is a great question. How about you answer that, and then you can ask me that question at the end of Kingdom of Ash.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. What would I ask Sarah J. Maas? Let's see. Maybe how Selena didn't realize it was Cain. She thought it was Nehemia.
That's a good question.
I get that there was a little bit of, trying to make her seem untrustworthy, like she was hiding something. So totally understand where it went story-wise, but I feel like Cain was just so obvious
It was
that he was evil.
very
Yeah.
obvious that he was evil.
Yeah. That's what I would ask for sure.
That's a good one, I think, for this
Yeah.
book to ask. Or where did the name Fleetfoot come from?
Yes, that's a good question.
I
We
like
never looked up.
Goldie.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, Google what a Fleetfoot is.
Okay. Fleet-footed means able to run very fast or swift-footed.
Oh,
It's like an adjective used to describe someone or something that is quick and agile on their feet.
I like that then.
Okay, Fleetfoot.
It's a good name for a dog.
Yeah.
It's better than like naming like superhuman names.
Yeah. Like Harold.
Karen.
Karen. No, but honestly, I like Goldie better, but
I do still like
I
Goldie
like
better,
Fleetfoot a little bit more.
but I understand why she would want to name her dog Fleetfoot now.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Would you rather spend a week training with Kale
Mm-hmm.
or a week shopping for gowns and books with Dorian, and why?
Okay, I would rather shop for books and gowns with Dorian. And
Wow.
because I love books and I love Dorian.
Thought you were gonna say, and I love gowns.
I mean, I love a good gown to dress up like a princess, but it's
Yeah.
more the book aspect that I'm going, and I
Yeah.
don't like physical activity as much. Amanda's literally dragging me to be more physically active in my weight
Yes,
loss
I am.
journey. So
You'll thank me later.
I'm becoming a Valkyrie with her on Thursday.
Yay! Valkyrie unite.
What would you rather do?
I would 100% rather train with Kale for a week.
Yeah. I could have
100%.
put money on
Get me all
that.
sweaty with Kale in the training arena, okay? Next question.
Okay.
Would you rather face one of the magical creatures in the tunnel or have a tense dinner with the king Jerkface?
I would rather have a tense dinner with the king.
Hell fucking yeah, me too. I don't want to meet no scare, especially because we looked it up.
Yes.
How scary it looks. Everybody listening who has not looked it up, go look it up right now. It
Yes.
is fucking scary. You'll all want to have dinner with the goddamn king.
I had a literal nightmare about the Ritterak after we looked up fan art of what it looked like.
It's fucking scary looking.
So scary.
I don't know why I didn't picture it to that. I pictured like a big wolf, but almost in like animal human mix. You know what I mean?
When it said it had like gray skin, I think it says it has no fur. And
True.
and it had like human like limb. I don't know. I was like, it's gonna look terrifying. And we were right. It was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
So I'd rather have a passive aggressive conversation any day.
And pretend to be like, hello, my lord. Yes, your majesty. All night.
Yes.
Sign me up. Rather getting my face scratched out and my organs ate. Thank you. Would you rather have Philippa as your personal stylist or Nehemia as your confidant and language tutor?
I was just saying how much I really liked her, but I have to go with Nehemia. I think having her be my confidant and language tutor, I think I would love to learn another language, one.
Yeah.
And then two, I think she's such a girl's girl and such a great person to learn from and to confide in that I have to pick that.
Yeah. I agree. I would definitely go with Nehemia, but mostly because the magic intrigues me and I want to know more about the magic over everything. But I love Nehemia as well.
Yes.
Would you rather win the competition and be bound to the king or risk escaping and face the dangers of the world outside? And what is your survival strategy?
No, I don't think I would try to escape. I think that I would serve the king, unfortunately, and then gain my freedom in 4 years, just like Selena went down that path,
Yeah.
because she has nowhere to go. She has no resources. The king in his onyx ring and God knows what other powers he's hiding would come after me. He would
Yeah.
kill Kale and Nehemia
Nehemia and her
and her
family. Yeah.
family, and I don't like that idea either. And then we also
Yeah.
have to think about the aspect that Arabin is still out there, and
Yeah. That's
he
true.
I don't know if he's trustworthy.
He doesn't sound like it. She's like
And
nervous he's gonna come back or she's gonna find her.
right, and he could snatch her up the second she's on the streets.
Yeah.
So, no thanks.
I also think too, I agree with you 100%. But also, I think as the King's champion, yeah, it sucks to be bound by him and have to do what he wants. But I feel like in the end, she can help more people that way
Mhm.
and eventually be wealthy herself and be able to use it for good. So,
Yeah.
but I would choose the same thing.
Unfortunately, it's the lesser of two evils at this point
Yeah,
when you have nothing.
exactly. Be honest. Did you have a crush on Kale or Dorian first? And did that change as the book went on? No judgment. Maybe a little.
I think that I had a crush on Kale and only Kale reading Throne of Glass
I
and
agree.
Crown of Midnight.
Whoa.
But my answer will change very dramatically at the end of Kingdom of Ash.
I think the only part of Dorian that I like is how they danced the night away at the ball and he didn't even look at another girl. That to me is the only cute part of Dorian in Throne of Glass, so I'm going with Kale.
I do like other aspects of Dorian. He definitely has a great worldview, and I like the
Yeah.
way he looks at things. And I liked that he
I
said he
agree,
wanted
yeah.
his wife to match him, not in power or money, but just in how they thought and what was in
Yeah,
their
knowledge
soul.
and
And
intellectual
yeah,
conversations.
and I just think he's definitely top notch. And Dorian throughout this entire series is one of the best characters, I think.
Yeah, he's like completely opposite from his dad. He wants to do good and be a peaceful person. He is a peaceful person. He
Mhm.
wants peace overall. And I feel like he's the only one in the castle that really wants that. At least anyone with somewhat of power
Yeah.
that wants that. But
And he saved Fleetfoot for
I
Selena, and I really
know.
liked that.
I also like how
He's a
when she
giver.
wrote him, yeah, when she wrote him about the books and he was like, you have to read these first
Yeah.
and then we can talk about them. That was cute too.
There's
So he has his moments, but
there's aspects of Dorian that I like more than Kale. But I think Kale in this book, like we were saying, he was just so subtle, and the
yeah,
growth of his feelings for her was just so much more attractive to me, probably
yeah.
because we like red flags more than we like Dorian, who is like literally perfect.
Literally. Well, I feel like there's so much against them too. Like her being the king's champion, him being the prince. They really can't be together.
Yeah,
But can they?
I don't know. We'll
I don't
see.
know. I guess so. We'll see. If you were Selena, what ridiculous thing would you try to sneak into the castle?
She loves, like, beautiful things. She loves
Yeah.
dresses and luxury items. So if I was Selena, probably something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a
See, I was going like more hidden weapon.
well, you said I mean, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, like some good shampoo,
Yeah, she's like, a fluffy dress.
more romance novels,
Yeah. Yeah, she would bring books. She doesn't need a weapon. I mean, she made one in 5 seconds, so
like a crossbow,
yeah. Or like see like darts that she can like at people.
some poison.
Yeah. Okay. If you could give Selena one piece of terrible dating advice regarding the prince and Kale, what would it be?
Terrible dating advice?
I know what mine would be.
Date them
Keep them
both.
both. What would yours be?
Ignore all of Kale's red flags because they're there.
Yes. Yes. I love that one.
Amanda, darling.
Yes, darling.
What seemingly insignificant detail in the book do you think will be huge later in the series?
One is obviously about Selena having magic, for
Mhm.
sure, gonna come into play.
Mhm.
2, I think Nehemia talking about the rebels. I feel like they're gonna play a huge part going forward.
Mhm.
This huge massacre of them, 500 of our people. I feel like there's gonna be some retaliation for that, for sure.
Mhm.
So that, and then, this little Fae talk. There's gonna be some Fae that show up. It was subtly mentioned in the beginning and end of the book with Queen Elena, but I see some Fae in our future.
That's smart.
Indeed.
All right. Who do you think is most likely to portray Selena in future books?
Betray her? Philippa, maybe? Like, I don't know who would betray her.
I mean, it's so hard because, like, just thinking about this
What
book,
I know, I can't.
there's so many characters that, like, you just haven't even met yet.
Yeah. I do think, on the flip side of that, I do think Caltaine is going to actually become important somehow.
Mhm.
Because she goes into the dungeon at the end,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's not the end of her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely not. None of her boyfriends are gonna betray her?
I hope not.
Okay.
I can't picture Dorian, but I can't picture Kale either. Not purposely, anyway. Maybe if the king made him do something,
Hmm.
but I don't, maybe a boyfriend,
Alright.
maybe a friend,
Maybe both.
maybe both. Somebody is going to betray her, though. That's what makes me think.
What kind of ridiculous magical creature do you secretly hopes make an appearance in later books? Unicorn ninjas, fire-breathing hamsters.
I would love a dragon. I'm obsessed with dragons from Fourth Wing. So, dragons, count me in. I hope there's dragons.
There might be something similar.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but I will not say.
It hangs in my windshield in my
Yep.
car.
Yep, indeed.
What was Selena's most iconic sassy line in the book?
Iconic sassy line. Yeah, so I think I'd have to go with when she says after she beats Fern that she's like, give me real men next time or a real man to go again. I feel like that was the sassiest or the best one for me. Most memorable.
This was mine. When she
Say it.
beats Grave and she says, my real name is Selena Sardothian, but whether it's Selena, Lillian, or bitch,
Oh,
or
yes.
like, you'll still never beat me. And she drops like
Yeah.
the handkerchief on him.
Hell yeah.
That was
You're
my
right.
favorite
That one was
one.
good.
Yeah.
That was good.
And she definitely has some nice, like, sassy comebacks to Kale, too. And even Dorian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both of
she's
them. Yeah.
funny.
She is funny and sassy.
If Selena had a Twitter account, what would her bio say?
Ooh. Free the slaves. Badass. Hitman. I don't know.
I think it would be like GOAT, like greatest of all time, or like GOAT A.
A
Greatest,
Darlin's assassin.
yeah, yeah. AA, GOAT AA, like all just like initials, and then like books like everywhere, and then hard eyes for Fleetfoot.
Yeah. Art, and it would be like, I'll kill you though.
Yeah, definitely
Don't fuck with me.
greatest of all time. She definitely is cocky, and I love it.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she deserves it.
That's
She's
what her bio
fucking young.
would say in Throne of Glass, at least.
Hell yeah.
One last question.
Okay.
What are you excited for most moving on in the series?
I think what I'm excited for the most is his fucking magic.
Hmm.
And I feel a huge battle coming on. And you know me and my battles, darling.
She does love battles.
I do love a good battle. I'm so excited to see where it goes. Everyone that reads it always tells me that the beginning is so different than the end. So
Mhm.
I just want to get there and read all in between. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, you definitely obviously need to have the beginning to get to the epic end of what is Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah.
But I was saying to you earlier on the phone that I sobbed. I mean, I'm very emotional anyways. And I have never finished a book series this big before. And
Yeah.
so when it got to the last page and I had to say goodbye to all these characters that I loved, I was just a mess. A
Yeah.
mess because it was just so
Oh.
good. And I'd never finished a book series before, so I didn't know how to feel. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is the end. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing else. The
Honestly,
story is over.
now that you say that, I don't think I have
Yeah.
finished a big series.
Well, I mean, I guess Twilight I did, but that was
I didn't. I
so
didn't even read
long
it.
ago.
Yeah.
But I guess I did feel that way, but not as much as how I felt it for this
The Throne of
series.
Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her next book for Bookish Bliss is gonna be Crown of Midnight.
Woo! Your covers are so fucking cool
I
compared to
know. I
mine.
have all the old covers before
I'm so
they
sad.
redid them all, and I don't like them as much.
No.
Just being honest, I just love these covers because they're just
Yeah.
so badass,
They
you
are
know?
so badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way more bad. I don't even remember what mine looks like. I know it's pink. Yours is like orangey.
Yeah, yours all have like doors and things. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna have to go look.
Yeah, I don't know what's on yours, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah, I have no idea.
But any book that I show on the podcast will be from this publication era of
Yeah,
Throne of
and
Glass.
also I've been posting that cover on the episode schedule
Yes.
online because I like it better.
I think we only have one picture of the new Throne of Glass book covers, and because from the other day when we did the ginger ale
Oh yeah, that's
debate.
right. Also, can you believe that Crown of Midnight is going to be our 10th book on Bookish Bliss?
Yes, I'm so excited
I'm so excited
to read this.
I know. Book number 2. We're already
Look
on
at
our
them
way.
all. And look at the old ACOTAR covers.
Let me see. Oh. See, I kind of like the new ones of those better.
Yeah, I don't have any of these. I have the new ones for that. But you're right. I do like the new ones better for ACOTAR.
Yeah, I do too. And that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this month we are reading Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. We love chatting with you guys, so don't be shy.
Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye!
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for part 1 of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, covering chapters 1 through 13. Happy reading!